In accordance with the provisions of the New Jersey Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, laws of 1975, adequate electronic notice of this meeting was provided through the public notice on January 16th, 2025, by email to the Hunterdon County Democrat, Express Times, posting on the district website, the main bulletin board in the district office, filing via email with the clerks, following municipalities, Alexandria Township, Frenchtown Borough, Holland Township, Kingwood Township, and Milford boroughs. With that, I'd like to call the meeting to order, and everyone please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Right? Here. Ms. Morgan? Here. Mr. Laughlin? Mr. McGuire?
Here.
Nelly? Here. Mr. Crowdy?
Here.
Mrs. Cassieri? Here. Mrs. Margone? Here. Mr. Samini?
Here. So we're going to start off tonight with student recognition. Mr. Case. After your student has been recognized, please take a step over to the banner over there with Mr. Epstein, and he's going to take photos. Family can join for family photos. Go ahead, Mr. Case.
It is my honor to call up our January Student of the Month, Victoria Renda. One of our seniors whose dedication, leadership, and enthusiasm inspire everyone around her. She was nominated by Ms. Lockett, who described her as an outstanding student who takes utmost pride in her work. Ms. Lockett highlights Victoria's excellent interpersonal skills, her organization, and her conscientious approach to every task. She calls it refreshing to have a student like Victoria in her class, and it's clear that her work ethic and positive energy leave a lasting impact on those who she works with. Victoria is not only excelling academically, but is also a standout leader in our school community. As our senior class president, she has enjoyed her time on the student council because it's allowed her to connect with classmates and represent the voices of the Delaware Valley High School students. Her ability to lead with kindness and inclusivity makes her a role model for her peers. In addition to her leadership roles, Victoria is part of the Biomedical Science Academy, where she explores her passion for the medical field. Her favorite teacher is Mr. England, who she has for AP Biology. She loves how his teaching approach combines knowledge, patience, and innovative strategies, which make his class both engaging and an inspiration for her. She's also proud of a recent English project she did on the sport of boxing, where she researched the evolution of the sport and its strategies. She found the process fascinating and is proud of her ability to dive deeply into the topics that spark her curiosity. Beyond academics, Victoria is an active member of the Bring Change to Mind Club and serves as a student representative for the Delaware Valley Wellness Committee. She's deeply committed to promoting mental health and wellness in our school and community, embodying the values of care and compassion that she hopes to carry into her future career. Speaking of the future, she has her eyes set on becoming an ultrasound technician. She aspires to be a calming and supportive presence for expecting mothers during moments that can be both exciting and nerve-wracking. With her kindness, empathy, and drive, there is no doubt that she'll bring comfort and confidence to future parents and patients. And congratulations, Victoria. Great job.
Athletes of the month. Coach Dwyer.
It is my honor and privilege to stand before you today to recognize an exceptional athlete, leader, and teammate, Megan Seabeck, as this month's Athlete of the Month. Megan is the epitome of dedication, determination, and hard work. As a captain of the cheerleading squad and a member of the team for 4 years, she has not only developed into an incredible athlete, but also as an inspiring leader. Megan leads by example, setting the tone for her teammates with her relentless work ethic, positive attitude, and unwavering commitment to the success of the team. In her role as captain, Megan goes above and beyond. She takes the time to uplift her teammates, ensuring that everyone feels supported and valued. Whether she's helping perfect a routine or motivating her team during tough practices, or offering a listening ear, Megan embodies the spirit of what it means to be a leader. What sets Megan apart is her drive. She never settles for good enough. She is constantly striving to improve not only herself, but also her team, pushing boundaries and inspiring everyone around her to rise to the occasion. Her dedication to excellence shines both on and off the mat, and her efforts have had a lasting impact on our program. Megan's passion for cheerleading is contagious, and her leadership has been instrumental in fostering a culture of unity and resilience within the squad. She shows us all what it means to balance grace and grit and how to rise to challenges with determination. Megan, thank you for being a role model and for demonstrating that hard work truly does pay. You are so deserving of this recognition, and we are all so proud of you. Congratulations. Thank you.
Our student athlete of the month for basketball is Patrick O'Boyle. Patrick is a 3-year varsity player, 2-year starter, he's a captain this year, and he's a JV player as a freshman. If you look at Patrick's numbers, not only this year, but throughout his career, they may seem modest, but those who understand the game, basketball, understand how important Patrick has been and still is to our success. Pat is extremely coachable, he's tough-nosed, he's a true competitor. He's like another coach on the floor for us. He attends almost all the off-season work we've had going back to the summer. And thus he knows our offensive and defensive schemes as well as anyone. He knows where all 5 guys need to be on the court. And routinely players are coming to him if they need a reminder of where to be. In addition, he always willingly steps in to take several charges a game. He sacrifices his body for the greater good of the program. Which is something that we hope all of our players do. Pat excels at it pretty well. What we do as a staff is we take notes of our stats after every game, rebounds, points, assists, etc. And we started within ourselves, come to love what we call a Pat game. This would be 6 to 8 points a game, 5 to 6 rebounds, 4 to 5 assists, 3 to 4 steals, a block or 2. He's just filling the stat sheet in all aspects of the game. We've always told our players we can get just about anyone to score points based off plays, but we need the guys who are willing to really grind it out and do the grunt work to put the team first. And Patrick is an excellent example of that. He is the truest example of what we have and what it means to be a Del Boys basketball player. So congratulations, Patrick.
The art student of the month, Mr. Gregson.
The art student of the month is Adrian Wolfram. I tell my students to try and keep 4 things in equal balance. Work hard, have fun, be creative, be kind. Work hard because it's a great feeling when you earn something, you really worked hard for it. But make sure to have fun, because if you're only working hard, you're gonna miss out on a lot. But be careful, because some people will only want to have fun. Be creative, because it helps keep things new, and people love to be around people who have new ideas. And finally, be kind, because the world can always use more kindness. All students get 1 of these, an overwhelming majority get 2, less of them earn 3. And to achieve all 4 and keep them in balance, well, those people are special. And Adrian Wolfram is one of those special people. Adrian's currently in TD4, advanced students in TD2, 3, and 4 are together in the same classroom so students can learn and pass their experiences on to each other. These are students who produce the shows for Del TV Media and DVTV, which we post on both Instagram and YouTube. Adrian is the senior producer and lead anchor for everything we do. She's only the 4th student who has earned a senior producer title since 2012. So she's in charge of what we do. It's her vision. She has worked hard on multiple projects, including our homecoming show, Holiday Spectacular, Gold Rush, BB Dailies, and multiple other projects. In some cases, she's gone to school all day, then to play her musical rehearsal, and then coordinated the filming of a school event in the evening. So she works hard. She also has fun. If you enjoy creating media, a lot of what we do in the classes, it's just fun. It's a unique class. Adrian is someone who always has a smile on her face, and frequently, just through the process of what we do in class, we have many laughs. She's creative. She works with me to express her overall vision for what we do. She oversees every video we produce. It's her vision. She uses this creativity to work with a lot of people in all aspects of media production, including writing, filming, editing, and producing. She is kind, so kind, and I'm kind of understating it, but I'll give you a short example. I have a 7-year-old daughter who just idolizes Adrian. Anytime my daughter sees Adrian, my daughter runs to her and gives her a big hug. And yes, sometimes this happens at the end of the full play when Adrian's still in costume. It's kind of took off. That's because Adrian makes her feel so super special, and she makes so many people feel so super special. She really makes my daughter feel special. My daughter calls Adrian her big kid BFF. In a most sincere compliment, I would label Adrian a no worry student. Anytime Adrian's working on a project, I no longer have to worry about it in any way. She will get it done. She'll get it done well, and she will get it done on time. Adrian's been a top performer in my program every year, and we just entered the 3rd marking period of her senior year. So she's been in my class for 14 straight marking periods. Now I'm sad that we're only gonna have 2 more marking periods, because I so enjoyed the last 14. Because every day, Adrian Wolfram has worked hard, had fun, been creative, and is kind. So I'm very happy to award the Del Val Art Student of the Month to the best BFF big kid anyone can have.
And retiree recognition, Ms. Morrissey?
It is my pleasure to speak tonight and celebrate Lorraine Colville as she begins her well-deserved retirement. Lorraine has been a devoted nurse within our community for 36 years, 11 of which were spent here at Del Val. Lorraine began her career with the state working as a secretary while attending nursing school. Her first nursing position was at Princeton Medical Center, after which she worked for 12 years at Hunterdon Developmental Center. Eventually, Lorraine took time off to devote to her family, her husband Mike, and their 2 boys, David and Zane, who are both graduates of Del Val. Once the boys were big enough, Lorraine started her career as a school nurse, first subbing at Kingwood School, and then she subbed here at Del Val, which led to a permanent position. Family is very important to Lorraine, so after approximately 7 years at Del Val, she reluctantly left us to take a position at a school in Ewing, New Jersey. The school was located very close to where her elderly mother lived, which allowed Lorraine the opportunity to check in on her mom most days before heading home to Kingwood. After several years, Lorraine was ready to work closer to home again, and as luck would have it, we were in need of another nurse, and she was able to come back to us. Lorraine held various positions here at Del Val over the years, first working out of our nurse's office. Then she had several years where she supported some of our students as a one-to-one nurse in their out-of-district placements, before finally returning to work back here on campus. Lorraine embraced every assignment she was given and always made it her own. The nature of some of these responsibilities was such that she developed very special relationships with the students and their families, offering significant support to all and keeping in close contact long after the students had graduated and moved on. Lorraine is extremely dedicated, intelligent, kind, and patient, but what sets her apart is how compassionate and gentle she is. She listens and validates and works her magic and sends you on your way. Anyone who went into the nurse's office, be it staff or student, always left feeling better for having been cared for. Lorraine has always been a great support to the students as well as to her colleagues. She has a wonderful sense of humor, and she is a pleasure to work with and be around. She is also a fabulous baker and could always be counted on to bring us some amazing homemade treats. We will miss Lorraine greatly, but we are very, very happy for you. Lorraine has spent many years as a caretaker of family, students, staff, and community, but now we hope you can focus on yourself. She has many interests and looks forward to traveling, visiting her sons, visiting family. She's an avid reader, loves animals and the outdoors, and it turns out Lorraine is a budding Picasso, a talent she plans to develop further. And should you want to continue to develop your baking skills, you know where we are. So Lorraine, on behalf of the entire Del Val community, I wish to thank you for all of these years of caring for all of us. Your dedication and kindness have meant more than words can express, and we are forever grateful. As you begin the next phase of your journey, we wish you much happiness, good health, relaxation, and joy. Congratulations on the well-deserved retirement.
Congratulations. Enjoy. So that concludes our student and employee recognition portion of the meeting. If any of those families would like to step out, we totally understand. And we'll give you a second to do that. If you would like to stay and watch the board conduct its business, you're welcome to do that too. This case, principal's report.
Good evening, everyone. Happy New Year. On January 6th, the counseling department held scheduling presentations for each grade level. Students are currently meeting with their counselor to begin the course selection process. On January 8th, Del Val held the second annual Wing Bowl and Pep Rally in preparation for the Gold Rush wrestling match. The Wing Bowl winner was senior Jack Hansen. And students raised over $700 for the Hunterdon County Food Pantry. On January 15th, our student leadership cohort held its monthly meeting. During this time, students brainstormed the prompt of how to create a school that everyone wants to attend. January 17th marked the end of marking period 2. So we've now officially reached the halfway point of the school year. I'd like to congratulate girls basketball player Alana Falkenstein for scoring her 1,000th point last week in their game versus Pemberton. Delaware Valley High School students were recognized by the College Board for national recognition for rural diversity and first generation in college in the completion of advanced placement tests or PSAT with a score of a 3 or higher. Additionally, our school was recognized with the Female Diversity Award for AP Computer Science. I'd like to congratulate the entire staff of our literature magazine for being named as a Crown Award finalist by the Columbia Scholastic Press Association. This is the second year in a row that they have received this distinction, and hopefully I'll be able to report good news on the conclusion of that. On February 6th, Del Val will be hosting the Freshman Quest, an 8th grade orientation program for incoming students and their parents. This will begin at 6:30 p.m. On February 13th, the Phys Ed department, along with the Sport Spirit, Key Clubs, and Student Government will be holding the Hoops for Hunger basketball tournament, and proceeds for this will go to the Hunterdon County Food Pantry as well. That concludes my report. Does anyone have any questions?
Any questions? Thanks. We're now going to open the meeting for public comment. At this time, we respectfully like to hear comments from the public. It's an opportunity for the public to comment on agenda items and to observe the board conducting the business of the board. It is not an opportunity to dialogue with the board. Public participation shall be governed by the following rules. A participant may be recognized by the presiding officer and must preface comments by an announcement of your name, place of residence, and group affiliation if appropriate. Each statement made by a participant shall be limited to 3 minutes duration. No participant may speak more than once on the same topic until all others who wish to speak on that topic have been heard. All statements shall be directed to the presiding officer. No participant may address or question board members individually. The board, pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act, shall not publicly discuss personnel matters and shall not respond to comments made by members of the public. Please be aware that any person employed by the Delaware Valley Regional High School District Board of Education retains the right of privacy and shall retain all rights regarding defamation and slander according to the laws of New Jersey. So all that being said, anyone wish to step up for a public comment? Go ahead.
Hi, everyone. My name's Holly Lowe. I live in Frenchtown. I have a rising freshman who will be here very soon. as well as a sixth grader. My question tonight is about recent guidance from the state around immigration and customs enforcement entering schools to pursue activities around deportation and other priorities of the new administration. So I just wanted to bring it to your attention. I'm sure you're aware of it, but curious if this is if our school is going to take this guidance and create any protocols, and whether or not that will be shared with the school community. I think there is a lot of fear, justified fear happening right now amongst families across our state. And I would appreciate any information that the school share to help folks understand what our school's approach will be should that occur here. Thank you. Thanks very much.
Thank you. Anyone else like to comment? Seeing no hands, hearing no voices, we're going to move on. Mr. McKinney, Superintendent's report.
Good evening, everyone. Before I hand it over to our student representatives, I'd like to recognize our school board members for their service to our community. January is School Board Recognition Month in New Jersey, and I want to take this opportunity to thank our board members for their dedication and commitment to our students and our families at Delaware Valley Regional High School. Although they're elected to serve in these positions, this work is volunteer-based and demands a great deal of time and energy beyond their responsibilities towards jobs and families. It's appropriate we also present a strategic plan update this evening, as strong board leadership supported the creation of our plan. I want to say thank you on behalf of myself, our staff, our families, and most importantly, our students. Please join me in a round of applause. We do have a resolution recognizing all Board of Ed members throughout the state, and with encouragement for all community members to get involved and support their schools. Jaden, would you like to kick off and share your report?
Sure. Okay, so for winter sports so far, we've been doing really good as teams and individuals. I'm sure you heard it before, but Alana recently scored her 1,000th point, and she's one of a few to do that at Del Val. I recently earned my 100th win for wrestling, and Emily Hobbs earlier in the season beat the #1 girl in the state at her weight, and she's only been wrestling a year, so it's pretty impressive. And so for teams, the girls basketball team is 10-5 on their season and 5-2 in the Scotland Conference. They play Bridgewater at home tomorrow at 7. Boys basketball is 9-6 on the season and 4-2 in the Scotland Conference. They're coming off of a good win over Princeton, 65-43. And they play Johnson at 7 away. Girls wrestling had their first dual meet at home against Warren Hills on the 10th of January. They forfeited almost, I think, more than half the weights, and they only lost by 5 points. So that's also pretty impressive. And the boys wrestling team is 11-3 on their season, 2-1 in the Scotland Conference, and we take on Pompton Lakes tomorrow away at 6. And our senior night is Saturday at home against Warren Hills.
Congrats, Jamie.
For my clubs and activities report for this month, I would like to mention a few things that Mr. Case has already mentioned. The Wingable Pep Rally was held leading up to the Gold Rush Wrestling match on January 8th. It was a good way to come back to winter. They included some events such as the chicken wing eating contest and the announcing of our athletic center. The Model UN organization attended a conference in New York from January 16th until the 19th. And they participated in a problem-solving process in the mock environment alongside other high school students. The Seal of Biliteracy exam held this past Thursday, the 23rd, for students to be tested on their knowledge of foreign language. The student council will be holding an indoor snowball fight on Thursday, January 30th during unit lunch, in which students from each grade level will compete on small teams to earn points towards an end-of-year prize. And finally, the basketball tournament and food drive will be held once again this year to support our local food pantries and boost student participation. The event is Hoops for Hunger, and it will fall on Thursday, February 13th. The food drive is currently underway and will continue until the day of the event. Students must form 6-person teams with friends in order to compete in the tournament and must raise money for the food banks as a registration fee.
Thank you very much. Before we present the mid-year strategic plan update, I wanted to quickly share a few other important items. Our County Department of Education representatives visited Del Val last Thursday as part of the CUSAC monitoring process. This visit went very well. We just have a few more items to finalize to complete a successful process. We do have an agenda item to approve the application to the state of New Jersey for the available equivalency waiver. This will allow Del Val to utilize the revised formula in this year's CUSAC evaluation. The new formula corrects identified issues with the scoring and allows Del Val to maximize the points awarded in the instruction and program area. Before we move on, I want to give a public thank you to my administrative team who did so much work to prepare our district for CUSAC and put our best foot forward as the leaders in Hardin County. We continue to monitor and keep lines of communication open with Power School as they continue their investigation and remediation planning. I anticipate sharing additional information with our families and staff later this week. Finally, I'd like to share that nominations for selecting our Delaware Valley Educator of the Year will begin shortly. I will be sending a letter to our families, students, and staff, encouraging them to nominate an educator who has made a difference in our school community. This is a great opportunity to say thank you for the work our staff does every day in support of our students. I hope you'll participate. And at this time, I'd like to ask my team to join me at the podium for our strategic plan presentation. Good evening again from a new spot. As promised in August, we are back to provide a mid-year update of the phase 1 goals contained within the district's strategic plan. We're pleased to share our accomplishments and progress that has been made through the first half of our school year together. Wait 1 minute. Yeah. As you recall, the Board of Education adopted the strategic plan 13 months ago with a focus on improving student achievement and developing a culture of continual growth. This work is supported by the frameworks established in the 4 domains identified on this summary slide. Within each of these domains are ambitious and aggressive goals that align our focus and our work together as a district. The 5 years of our plan were divided into 3 phases of goals. Phase 1 beginning January of 2024. Completion of phase 1 is targeted for September of 2025, so we're about 2/3 of the way through phase 1. We will report the progress with milestones marked with terrier paws for the creation of our timeline action plan, initial progress towards our goal, on track for completion, and finally, an accomplished goal. While we anticipate successfully achieving all of our goals, there will be times when some goals could change, be delayed, or altered. The plan is intended to be a living document that grows to meet our needs as a district. That said, I'm proud to report that we had 18 new paws to our goals at this presentation, and 4 of the paws are green, indicating an accomplished goal. I'd also like to note that I changed the green paw from goal completed to goal accomplished, as in almost every case, our goal will be accomplished, but our work in that area will not ever be done. In the area of program, curriculum, and instruction, we continue to work to develop stronger student engagement in our classrooms and raise the bar with high expectations for all students. We have updated the program of studies to align with the goals of providing meaningful opportunities through curricular programming, expansion of academies, and opportunities for advanced courses that help students become prepared for their futures. We have developed a data template that is now in the hands of our technology department to streamline the collection of important information year over year. This work is a continuation of the strides we have made articulating with our sending districts. This data will help to improve our instruction, meet student needs, and track trends that can be shared with our partners at the K-8 level. Finally, we're exploring new options and opportunities for concurrent enrollment, as some of our current relationships have made enrollment more challenging for students and staff to gain access. Throughout this fall, you should have noticed an expansion of college and career readiness programming, Career Talk Tuesday programs. Tomorrow we have another one on cybersecurity and information technology. We created a student military interest cohort to support students that will be exploring that opportunity and avenue post-graduation. We have an expansion of connections with our sending districts. For example, the Science Showcase, which will be grown to a much bigger event with our elementary and middle school students coming to Del Val to show off their experiments. Finally, we're piloting opportunities for students to broaden readiness through independent study. We have made positive strides in this area, and our ultimate goal is to develop student awareness and over time, expand our programming into opportunities for students to have direct experiential learning. This work can also be seen through the initial steps of developing a pre-education academy, as well as a business finance academy that exposes students to the vast number of types of opportunities within each of these fields. We are also in the process of evaluating our current high school schedule and researching possible and potential alternatives. This work will conclude with a recommendation by our committee to either maintain, evolve, or change our current schedule based upon the findings and the work of the committee. We are also providing teachers and students information about artificial intelligence in the high school setting and preparing our students to use this powerful tool in an appropriate and ethical manner. As we develop the necessary skills and parameters for using these tools, we will also need to formalize our expectations and policies that support a rapidly changing educational environment. To this end, we need to continue to educate our students in this realm so that they are prepared to interact with and effectively use AI in a post-high school setting. At this time, I'll turn it over to Mr. Case, who will share more information about our student and staff wellness goals.
So in terms of our student staff wellness goal, as you see there, is to facilitate access to internal and external resources that promote mental health awareness and support for all students and staff. And looking at this so far, we have not just developed, but are continuing to expand upon our partnerships with both the St. Luke's Hospital and Hunterdon Medical Center to try to explore multiple opportunities for their resources that they can provide for our students and staff, both within the school and in their community. And part of that is not just what they were able to do here for us immediately, and but also to inform our community of what's available. In addition to the health and wellness segment, there's also a expanded role into our curriculum and internship opportunities that we're exploring as well. We are also partnered with Prevention Resources out of Hunterdon County that have offered a number of opportunities for programming for our students. You may have seen them at our back to school nights and some of our freshman orientation programs as well, where they offer just information for students and family about wellness, about safety, about making good decisions. Additionally, They have offered services of specific counseling programs for some of our individual students and families based on specific needs and challenges that they might be facing. In terms of systems consistently and regularly check feedback from students and staff regarding the school climate. We are continuing to look for a tool to provide us with the best feedback that fits the needs of our school and community. So that is something that is ongoing, but we are looking for something that is targeted towards meeting the specific needs of Del Val. I actually forgot to mention in the previous slide our wellness committee as well, which is an organization I actually mentioned our student of the month, who is a student representative, but staff members and community members who are involved in trying to promote wellness within our community, within our school community, among students and among staff. There is newsletter and information going around to try to provide the community with information about some of our wellness goals. And most recently, we at Del Val have begun a marathon challenge program. We are in week 2 of a 3-month program where students and staff are taking on this walking challenge to try to climb as many miles as we possibly can. The class with the highest number of miles will get points for the Terrier Cup, which Bella had mentioned earlier in her presentation. And for our third wellness goal, developing a capacity for leadership among staff by enhancing vertical and horizontal professional development opportunities for the purpose of consistency in delivery of instruction and preparation for life after graduation. So this is a program that we've begun to pilot this year where we encourage a number of our staff members to engage in some of the professional programs that the administration is taking part in. We're encouraging our staff to take part in leading staff development, facilitating trainings to their colleagues with an emphasis on providing leadership opportunities for staff and applying best practices. Similarly, we have our student leadership cohort, which our staff has been very critical in, particularly those who are advisors to our clubs and organizations. They are also critical in recommending students who may not be a formal leader for one of these organizations, but what they find in their classroom. And the leadership cohort has been meeting monthly since the summer workshop and is in the early stages of developing a formal curriculum to implement for the years ahead. And it's over to Brian for governance and fiscal management.
There's a few goals here in governance and fiscal management. The first one we're looking at is our facility use and district revenues. Our goal was to implement a facility management system, and we have done that. The new system has been implemented, it is in use, staff is acclimating to the new system. And we have seen a recent increase in rental income from the use of the auditorium. Currently, a web page and promotional materials are being developed, which will showcase the auditorium, our turf field, and our commons area. The promotional materials will also include a list of features and the various ways our facilities could be used. And this will hopefully encourage people to come and see what our facility can be used for and advance our revenues in that way. We also have in 3.1B is our long range facilities. The district architect has met with the administration to assist with prioritizing our list of physical, plant, and property needs that have been identified. The prioritized list will be shared with the operations committee of the board. Discussions on this will continue. And once the project list is complete, then we can start to work on the financial plan and work towards implementing and completing the projects. 3.2A, this is about increased articulation. This has been mentioned in other areas of our plan, and all the districts in the region have made it a priority to bring all the educators together and meet by subject content area to discuss alignment of the curriculum across the various districts. Professional development time each school year is being dedicated to this important task. We are proud to say that this goal has been achieved, and we look forward to continuing this partnership. In 3.2B,
We continue to look for opportunities to collaborate with other districts and local government agencies to improve efficiency. Then 3.3, regular updates on the progress and achievement of goals in the strategic plan is what we're doing this evening, and we'll continue to do it in this format. Mr. McKinney also gives regular updates to the board as well. And our final goal in governance and fiscal is about communication of the budget process. And this year we engaged the staff early in the budget development process to gather information that will help us meet their needs in the classroom. I will attend upcoming faculty meetings to inform the staff of the process. And Mr. McKinney and I are currently planning a meeting with the 5 mayors to share budget information with them as well. Here's Director Curriculum, and so we're gonna cover communication goals. Communication goals are the more visible. So the first one has to do with our new website we rolled out in September. The new website is up and running, as well as an app that's, if you want to search for it, it's DVRHS. It includes a link at the top for visitors to submit their feedback through a survey, so we can continue to make improvements. So as you explore the website, please let us know how we're doing. The second one is about the handbook. So the student handbook program of studies are posted and are accessible under students and parents tab. We are adding more interactive features as we shift to something called simple booklet. So we're rolling it out with that tomorrow. And the next one has to do with the Hall of Fame. It's a little small, I have glasses. So as you walked in, hopefully you saw the bright, pretty TV in the hallway. That is our Hall of Fame. It's been down for a while. It is up and running. It is in the midst of being updated. Some of them are completely updated. Some of them have a few years to add on. But the Athletic Hall of Fame inducted their newest class in the fall, and they're currently updating the rest of the database. The Academic Hall of Fame is being updated with the last few graduating classes for that. And the Arts Hall of Fame is fully updated and is also open to nominations as we will be inducting our next class in the fall. So those close in March. You can find the QR code on the programs for our plays and our musical, or you can visit the website to nominate anyone we're looking to go back into the history guides. And then finally, we have information from our graduating students in order to make databases, collect information that can help our students make good decisions about their futures. So in there, we have questions like what colleges accepted your concurrent enrollment credits, what did they accept it for? Did you start as a sophomore? So that we can collect that information, because that's something that parents often want to know. If I go to this school, this specific credit count for my kid? Yes, no, because they're a biology major, they want them to take the biology class. So we are continuing that. We started it last year. We're continuing that for class of 2025, so that we can build a full database that we can reference.
Thank you all. I'm very proud of our progress so far and grateful to my team that presented, but my entire administrative team and for the teaching staff for jumping on board. It's a lot of hard work by a lot of people, but at the center of that focus is that student achievement and continual growth, and I think we're making great headway in that area day by day. So this plan that we have in place and using will also help guide our process, as we work with the finance committee and the operations committee, and we develop a budget that aligns with all this work and these goals that have been established. We've established priorities, and that will help as we move our budget forward and share that with the board and to the public at large. As we get to the summer months, we will revisit, we'll adjust our timelines as necessary and continue to work toward improving student achievement and growth as we start the phase 2 of our plan and another 18 months of great growth. So at this time, I will turn it back to the board for any questions on our strategic plan update.
I have a simple question. The monitors. Will that information be on our webpage? Well,
Yes.
all of it?
Yes.
Yes.
And then I tried to scroll because I went right to the wall, what I call the wall of fame, because back in my time, you know, all the pictures. I couldn't scroll through, is it completed?
We are very close to having it completed.
Right. And is there any chance that we could put a monitor in when people walk in to see the basketball and wrestling, because anything, say back in the day, back in the day, when the pictures were on the wall, that was a big thing for the community, when they came to events, they would walk down and look at those pictures. And they were very upset when we took that away from them, so I don't know if there's anyone, when they took that, we're interested. So I don't know if there's a chance sometime in the future that we could put a monitor safely there or move them.
Yes, I think we're in good shape. Once this is constructed, it is web-based, so it's definitely a possibility that we can have access both at home and you'll be able to scroll through it, but on any of those devices that we establish here. So I think that's a very real possibility. I'm really excited, the work that was done to kind of rededicate this and make sure that we build this again and celebrate our historical successes in all these different avenues. We made good progress. We're worried about missing somebody and making sure we get it right. But I think the next step is to crowdsource that, because I'm sure people will let us know if we're missing somebody. But that we feel really good about it. It's really gonna be nice. So yeah, short answer is yes, I think that would be better.
It's nice, I've been reading.
Can you just speak a little bit more on your outreach efforts to the Pending District schools and on some of the specifics of what's been accomplished?
So we've developed, over the course of the last couple of years, we started by developing relationships with the superintendents and then expanding opportunities for our staff to integrate and work with their staff. And the mechanics of that included aligning our calendars, which we've done. At those meetings, we've done it a number of different ways where we've met, math department and bringing everybody together. We've done it at different grade levels. We've looked at assessment scores. We've looked at, we've talked about things like transition and what does a successful ninth grader look like, so that we can collaborate together on those things. This year we kicked off and we had the first, and what everybody tells me is a long time, a keynote speaker where all of the sending districts were together for half a day, and we have that on the calendar plan again for next year. The data component of that I mentioned very briefly, but that will be a look back and a look forward to from 6th to 12th grade, so we can not only identify areas of strength and weakness, but we can also track individual students. And it's also set up to measure success and participation and engagement in ways beyond just test scores and AP scores and SAT scores. It's, engagement, involvement, participation, and doing those things too. So we want to track all of those things. This will give us, this year, will be a lot of work, both mechanically and will really be baseline setting. But if we can build it right the first time, year over year, it can lead to really productive conversations with our K-8 districts. And they've been so helpful to me and so willing to jump in on this. I think we're in a good spot. So thank you.
Thanks.
Questions on the board?
Any more questions? Anyone? Okay, thank you.
Thank you. That concludes my report.
Speak to the board, I appreciate the effort, not only sticking to the strategic plan, but then following through with the reporting. For all the members that were here, it was an interactive exercise, and I didn't realize how interactive it was going to be when we went through the strategic planning process. I was almost caught off guard with being handed a worksheet to worked through it with our consultant at that time, but it felt rewarding at the time, and it's nice to start to see these things come to fruition.
Thank you.
With that being said, we do have a couple action items. I need a motion for 6-1 to 6-3.
So moved.
And a second, please.
Second.
Any discussion or questions on 6-1 through 6-3? Roll call, please.
Yes.
Ms. Warren? Yeah.
Mr. McGuire?
Yes.
Ms. Melanie?
Yes.
Mr. Riley?
Yes.
Mrs. Passeri?
Yes.
Mrs. Nardone?
Yes.
Mr. Sweet?
Yes. And Ms. O'Brien, your report?
Our next meeting will be on February 24th. Mr. McGuire is set to review the bill list, so, this stuff will be in contact with you to set that up. And we did schedule a facility tour for any board members who are interested in, taking a tour of our facility this coming Friday at 1 o'clock. I know it's last minute, but, we had a request, for a tour, and it's going to be a convenient time, so if you are available, please join us, here at 1 o'clock. Please let me know if you plan on attending, so we know if we're waiting for anybody or not. That concludes my report.
I need a motion to approve the meeting minutes.
Second.
Any questions on the meeting minutes from December 16th and from January 6th? Roll call, please.
Straight? Yes. Mrs. Morgan? Yes. Mr. McGuire?
Yes.
Mrs. Melanie?
Yes.
Mr. Crowley?
Yes.
Mrs. Passeri?
Yes.
Mrs. Nardone?
Yes.
Mr. Sweet?
Yes.
Actually, I have a question for Trust on the financial disclosure report. If there's an error made, you'll kick it back to us? You look at it? and submit it?
I review them first before they go to the state.
So if I submitted mine and didn't see anything back, I can assume it was fine.
Yes.
Board member liaison reports, Hunter County School Boards Association, Mr. Friday.
Certainly. So we haven't had a Hunter County SBA meeting since our last board meeting. But there is a meeting scheduled this Thursday, January the 30th, at 6:45 p.m. It's virtual. And if anyone wishes to attend, they have to register through the NJSBA site. But it should be good. It's entitled Strategies for Budget Management, Advocacy and Funding Solutions. And our very own Ms. Teresa O'Brien will be presenting. But I think it's really good timing for that, considering we put our budget together. And then the next meeting after that is March 5th at 6:45. That's an in-person or virtual. But that's it.
Thank you. Mr. McGuire, anything on the legislative front?
There was one bill, Senate Bill S 3917, which was introduced in December. It's scheduled to be heard in committee next week. It proposes significant changes in New Jersey school funding laws in the areas of tax levy and the educational adequacy report. It would require the Department of Education to disclose the calculation of aid for each school district within 2 days of the governor's budget address. And the bill would look to revise the method of determining tax levy growth limitations. It would also modify the formula used in the distribution of aid for extraordinary special aid, and overall the change would aim to enhance transparency and stability in school funding to ensure that districts can meet their financial needs while addressing the challenges of special education funding. That's all.
Thank you. Mr. Laughlin's not here tonight, and I'll lean on Mr. McKinney a little bit to refresh my memory, but I believe that, multiple districts on the advocating a sustainable funding model ad hoc committee. Multiple districts are aligning and talking about the same challenges with funding and getting the ear of some legislators. But it's a slow road.
Correct. We, at a lot of different levels, we participated in giving testimony about School Funding Reform Act and how school districts can be supported by changing that formula to, represent what the student needs are. I presented at a session in Somerville. Ms. O'Brien presented written testimony, as did Mr. Lachlan, and another one of our administrators, to advocate for our specific needs, both at Del Valle and throughout Hunterdon County, so that our taxpayers are represented. And this process has made some headway, but it is legislative, so it will move very slowly. We are participating. I will be at a state conference later this week, where we are going to continue our work to make connections in different parts of the state, so that we can, develop some strength in numbers in working specifically with the funding of the vocational programs throughout the state. And, we've mentioned that before. So we've taken some steps. We're building some coalitions, and we hope to have an impact on our legislators who will drive this next state funding formula.
Any questions from the board on any of that? We'll move on to our committee reports, and when you give your committee report, we'll go informational items first, and then discussion around that, and then you can move your own action items. And then we'll get a second, and then have any discussion surrounding that before we go. So, Mr. Prouty, operations.
All right, Operations Committee met on Tuesday, January 14th.
Did you hear your mic?
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Thanks.
So the Operations Committee met on Tuesday, January 14th. Discussion items were the project list. As usual, we decided to add a new column in order of priority with regard to need as opposed to want, or i.e. what can be put off without endangering health or safety in order to save money. We had 8 completed items. We're able to check off, and those are, for the most part, things that have been done for a little while. The lens system, old farmhouse demo, media center renovation, track construction, new weight room, parking lots in front of building, air conditioning of the wrestling ring, the weight room, and the church field. We further discussed the E-Hall roof. And this may have been done by now, but we're waiting for an infrared scan, which would show moisture in the roof insulation, with an anticipated cost of about $1,800. And then estimates to either restore or replace the roof, to restore between $210,000 and $230,000, to replace $385,000 to $415,000. Water testing, DOE requires a triennial lead testing of water. We expect that to be done by the end of spring break. The transportation fire panel, which will come up as an action item. The 1995 fire panel in the transportation building is 30, and replacement parts are pretty much unavailable. If it breaks, then we're on a 24-hour fire watch, which is not so good. Proactive system replacement seems to be the prudent thing to do. The estimate at the time of our committee meeting was over $19,000 to be paid for by the consortium, but I see in the action item 1010 states that it's a $15,203 expenditure, which is a little over $4,000 less, which is a good thing. Then the fifth discussion item was just a list of winter break projects. The Hutch gym was painted, bathroom floors were scrubbed over winter break. Soundproof guidance offices, and then the removal of the old lockers from the Hutch gym was begun. Reserve balance capital reserve is 3,600 and I'm sorry, $364,540. I'm afraid I don't have maintenance reserve here. The next meeting will be February the 10th at 6:15. And I would like to move.
I have a question on
yeah.
that. And so when the project list is updated, would it be possible that the board get a copy? Especially when it's been set with a priority of not D versus 1.
Yes.
All right, then I would like to move action item 10.1. Anyone second?
Second, please.
Second.
Roll call.
Right,
Yes.
Mr. McGuire,
Yes.
Mrs. Siri,
Yes.
Mrs. Drake,
Yes.
Ms. Gordon,
Yes.
Mrs. Canali. Yes. Mrs. Nardone,
Yes.
and Mr. Beatty.
Yes. Ms. Tesari, Finance Committee?
Yes, so the finance committee met on January 13th. And then also met earlier this evening as well before this meeting. Discussed was the 2025 to 26 budget development timeline. Some preliminary health benefit projections were shared by Teresa. Of course, these are just projections, but 9.5% for healthcare and 15% for the prescription plans. As far as timeline goes, the state aid notices won't come out until late February 27th, I have. And there'll be our next meeting in 2 weeks. Also discussed was the ESEA amendment that's going to be completed to capture the carryover of unspent funds, of title funds from the 1 year to the next. And I think we'll just meet in the next 2 weeks. We've got very extremely preliminary look at the budget earlier this evening. And so that still needs to be on through line by line. And we'll discuss in 2 weeks how to best share that. But there's still just a lot that's still unknown. Any questions?
Actually, Blue, you're gonna wish I was in the committees. I'm gonna ask. So when it's ready, can the board please, or at least I would like the line item detail that goes beyond taking up the budget, as well as the tax levy impacts at various percentages. So if we're thinking about 100%, then I can go 100. Whatever, I mean, 2 or whatever, I'm assuming we're starting at 2. Maybe we're starting at 0. But whatever we're going, if we can see the tax levy, because I think that helps the board see what the tax levy impact is, varying amounts, and also I think it helps the public see what we're doing.
I asked that question today when the line item could be shared, right? And right now it's just the, flat 2% that is in this extremely preliminary budget. So that, I think we decided we'd discuss in 2 weeks' time when is best to share those numbers, because that needs to be updated, that 2% as well as.
Yes, we'll actually do that.
No.
It'll go out to the whole board, line item by line item. Right now, when we breeze through it, and you know this because you've been through it more than anybody here, it still had a lot of kind of superficial errors. You can kind of flip through it and say, oh, this was moved from here to here. But once it's cleaned up in 2 weeks, the whole board will have a chance to to see the line item detail.
No, I just think it helps the board because there's not, it'll show you, there's not a lot of wiggle room. I think it gives the entire picture.
And the tax impacts won't be available until state.
That's what I forget. But you know, you give it to us every year, and I think it's very helpful.
Anything else? I'd like to move 11.1 to 11.9. Second.
Roll call.
Well, I actually have a question.
Oh, I'm sorry, any questions? Yeah,
Um,
plowing ahead here.
I don't know what motion I was, I can't read the ESCA funds. Yes, motion 11.5. So we had funds left over. Is that normal? I mean, is that what we typically have funds? Like, how much do we get? For this? And then we typically have leftover funds.
So typically in Title I, we have leftover funds and there was very, when I tell you like less than $200 in Title II and Title IV, but they, you know, and sometimes that's from, we intended to spend it, purchase orders came in under, you know, what they were for, so then it left some balances. Title I is, the area we've been really working, Priscilla and I have been working on putting together a good plan to, you know, make sure that our funds are spent in the best way. So we're hoping to minimize the need for carryover.
Oh, I have another question. On 11.8. I think it's great that the Booster Club is donating this, but what is it? What are they got? What is this? Customized screens, what are they gonna do? And how do they determine, I guess, how does the Booster Club determine what we need? Does the plants work with them?
So the first part, my understanding is the screens will be behind the main bleachers and will have, you know, Del Val logos so that, and will protect the back of those bleachers. Mr. Jacobs works with the Booster Club. Can't speak to the process, but that's, so this is a upgrade of the facility to kind of cover underneath the bleachers and to get our logo out as many places as possible.
In the back?
In the back
Oh,
of
so
the
where I can
landscape.
walk in now.
Any other questions? Okay, roll call.
Yes.
Mr. Crowley,
Yes.
Mrs. Drake,
Yes.
Mrs. Gordon,
Yes.
Mr. McGuire,
Yes.
Mrs. Melanie,
Yes.
Mrs. Nardone,
Yes.
Mr. Smithy.
Yes. Negotiations committee did not meet. There's nothing to discuss. Personnel committee, Mr. McGuire.
Personnel committee met on January 21st. Some of the discussion items included lead replacement counselor recommendations by Mr. McKinney. We talked about posting anticipated job openings, being proactive due to the applicant pool being small. And when a job is announced, the applicants are scooped up fairly quickly. So we want to be proactive in posting anticipated job openings. We also discussed the shared VA position, maybe a redistribution of workload to for shared VA position to be a little bit more efficient. Not that it's not efficient now, but it's more efficient. And I believe that's it for the discussion. Questions on it? If not, then I have action items 13.1 through 13.12, which just deal with some retirements and appointments and additional items. Second, anyone?
Second.
Any questions?
No, it's very disappointed, but happy for Mr. Paul that he's retired. It's
I agree.
a big loss. Yeah.
Agreed. I know I asked it in committee, but for the sake of the public, for Mr. Paul, who runs the wood shop, do you find that to be a hard position to fill, Mr. McKinney?
Yes, there's very limited programs that are turning out educators with that certification. So we will have to, it's unfortunate that he is elected to retire selfishly. But because it's happened so soon, we can begin our search and hopefully be in the pool as quickly as possible to find a talented replacement.
Any other questions? Roll call?
McGuire,
Yes.
Ms. Norman,
Yes.
Ms. Denali,
Yes.
Gray,
Yes.
Brownie,
Yes.
Mrs. Sarah,
Yes.
Mrs. Marone,
Yes.
Mr. Sweeney.
Yes. Policy committee did not meet, education and student affairs committee, Ms. Benelli.
The Education and Student Affairs Committee did meet on Tuesday, January 21st. Mr. McKinney, Mr. Keys, Ms. Savatello, Mr. Samini, Ms. Nardone, Ms. Drake, and myself. Superintendent McKinney reviewed the purpose and responsibilities of the committee. We also agreed that we would meet virtually unless we needed to meet in person. Mr. McKinney presented the information about the upcoming QSAC visit that has since happened, but it happened this past Thursday. So we were given a little heads up on that. Mr. Keys provided an update on the Wellness Club and told us about the new challenge involving counting the steps for the staff and students, which was great. Ms. Savatello provided an update on all the academy planning and curriculum planning, including the information about student interest in different academies and how the academies are being driven by student desires and interests. And Hunterdon Healthcare is requesting that our students participate in a survey. The survey is great in the sense that it will help identify the areas of needed support for teenagers in the county. We discussed the possibility of just doing a parental consent prior to allowing the students to complete the survey. So Mr. McKinney is looking into that further. We will meet again on February 18th. I believe 5:30.
So I have a question. I saw there's 40 students who show up at the student leadership meeting regularly. Out of how many do we invite? Like, I don't know if that's a good number or.
We invite about 65.
And I think I've asked this before, how do you get your population? Is it they nominated by staff or can anybody come?
Well, anyone interested ultimately can come, but we invite specifically the officers for the clubs and organizations and the captains of the teams.
Thank you.
So having 40 people meet during their lunch period is pretty good, I would say.
Sitting here trying to figure out how you control that, but that's not.
On the academies, I did see the academy acceptance letters start popping up on Facebook pages. So that was pretty neat to see. 8th grade kids, posted, 8th grade kids' parents posting their Bell Valley Academy acceptance letters up on Facebook and kind of celebrating and getting excited to go up to the high school.
Is that on a semi-district page or what is that on?
Yeah, it was on a semi.
Del Val semi-district?
No, for me, it was on the Holland Township. I saw the Holland Township School page. Some kids posted that. Any other questions, comments? And no action items, so we'll move on to our second public comment. And I'm not going to read the whole thing, it's governed by the same rules, and you have 3 minutes. Yes, please.
I'm Alexandra Township. I just want to say how very impressed and proud I am as an alumni of this high school to see the expansion of the academy programs under the strategic plan, particularly obviously near to my heart, pre-education academy, right? As well as the pre-business academy. You know, my daughter right now is participating in the senior practicum offering as a teacher assistant for the American Sign Language program. And I really wish that I had these opportunities when I was a student here at school. You know, these opportunities really provide much needed experiential learning in high school, and that serves to both better connect students with their school community, as well as explore career paths. And I think this really marries well with all of the career talks that the school puts on. I visit it on a monthly basis. It's just, you know, as many educators know, providing students these opportunities encourage them to continue their own education after high school graduation. But again, I'm really impressed. I mean, I know a lot of the area high schools, if they have an academy or the polytech, whatever, it always seems so, you know, STEM oriented, and it's great, and we have that too. But to see pre-teaching and pre-business, I think this is really very, very important. The more we can connect our kids to the school, you know, the more positive outlook that they will have, the more positive outlook that their parents and guardians will have, more positive outlook that our whole communities will have about this school, about the direction of our children's future. So thank you for offering that to my daughter and for the future Delta students.
Thank you. Anyone else? No other public comment, we're going to move on. Do we have any need to go into executive session?
Yeah.
Motion to adjourn?
Motion moved.
Second? All in favor? Aye. Thank you, everyone. Good night.